How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another YouTube tutorial. Today we're be covering something that has actually been brought up recently. Surprised I don't have a video on it. So just like all cars, if you go into car files, all cars have two things. They have a Carco ID if it's a cop car, but all cars in the game have a handling ID. And just like Carco IDs, and just like handling IDs, and there's also a third ID which is called a light ID. Light IDs are very uncommon, but light IDs basically set up lights like the brake lights and turn signals and stuff like that specifically for a car. Very rarely used by any cars unless it's like a police model that costs like $300, which you kind of would expect that. Besides that, Carco IDs again are going to be found in any car that has flashing lights on it, police cars, tow trucks, stuff like that, right? But like I said, every car is going to have a handling.meta, and in that handling.meta, you're going to find a handling ID. So if I go ahead and open this up, I'm using Microsoft Visual Studio, so this is what mine looks like. If you're using anything else, it's going to look like that. And if you don't have any coding software, it is going to be a notepad. So make sure you download Visual Studio, especially if you are doing dev work for a FiveM server, as you need a code editing software and not using Notepad, because Notepad is just going to be a white box of text, and it's not going to have any of these different colors, which kind of really show what you're looking at exactly. At least for me, it makes it a lot easier. But back to the main point. We have a handling name, so it is a handling name, but it's technically an ID. It's a call signal for the code. So there's two things you would do with this. If you are editing a handling line, there is multiple Google forms on how to change the numbers in here, and all these numbers affect how the car drives, how it rolls, how it, if you go too fast, it might flip, how fast it is, how many gears it will shift through while you drive it, how much the car weighs. These are all things you can change in here with the handling line. So for example, you can see F mass value. That is going to be the mass of the vehicle, how much the vehicle weighs. I know weight and mass is kind of different, but that is how this works. There's also, for example, if we look at drive inertia, F drive inertia right here, this will actually, I think it might be initial drive force. It's one of these two. One will change like how fast the car takes off, and it also affects how fast the car will accelerate. You can also see here, I believe right here, right here, you can see initial drive gears. So this car, the SWAT van, has 5 gears, so it will rev up, it will shift, rev up, shift 5 times up until the max speed. And then I believe one other one of these has the max speed. Yeah, here we go. So you can see initial drive, max flat veil, which is I think short for vehicle. 120 is the max speed of the SWAT van that we're looking at right here. So there's a lot of things you can change in here. We're not going to be covering that. Again, there's a lot of things you can tinker with in here. All you got to do is tinker it, go in game, see if you like it or not, and then keep going. But the main thing we're here for is the SWAT, or the handling ID. So you can change this to whatever you want. So this one is SWAT van. So you're going to find this ID in the handling.meta, and then you're also going to find this in the vehicles.meta. So if we open this up and we go in here, you can see a handling ID is SWAT van, and it is cap sensitive. So make sure if it's capital, you make it capital. I believe all handling IDs are capital. So do capital, do not do lowercase. And I wouldn't add like numbers or things like that. Just keep it plain text. No hashtags, nothing like that, just plain text. But the biggest thing is, like I said, this was kind of brought on to me by a person commenting in Discord. Just like Carco IDs and light IDs, if a vehicle has the exact same handling ID name, so if there was another car with the SWAT van handling ID, the game is not going to read both of them at the same time. It's going to read one of them and then apply that one to both cars, and if the cars are drastically different, guess what? The one that is, not getting the correct handling line, it's going to drive like crap. So all you would have to do in a situation like which I saw in my Discord, there was a guy driving a Challenger and it was flipping over. That is not due to the handling line being, trash. It's because he probably has a handling ID confliction. So all we would have to do, let's say we have two vehicles with SWAT van as the handling ID. All we have to do is just change it, and it could be as simple as just adding an extra letter. So SWAT vans. And then we go in here and SWAT vans. Save it, and all you do is load in game, and your handling is going to work fine. Now, if you do this and your handling ID is still not working correctly, make sure you installed the car correctly, and then there might be an issue with the handling line. So, again, maybe you could look at this. Again, there's forums on Google that cover all these values here that will teach you everything they do, everything they don't do, a whole bunch of stuff. But other than that, this was just a short, quick little, speak about handling lines. There's not much to really talk about in here, but if you don't know what you're doing, it is confusing. Other than that, hope you guys have a good one, and I'll catch you guys in the next YouTube video. Peace out.